Martin Luther wasn't just a preacher full of issues with the Catholic Church. He was trained as a Roman Catholic, an Augustinian monk, so he had incredible credibility when he demanded reformation. Harriet Tubman was an escaped slave with expert knowledge of Southern geography and plantation life, which were critical in winning the trust of other slaves and rescuing them through the Underground Railroad. The fact that Mahatma Gandhi was a British-educated Indian elite trained as a lawyer in London made him the perfect ambassador for India's independence. This is what insiders can do, turning an institution right side up from the inside out. And this is exactly what Paul does with his audience in Acts 13. Acts 13, 26 through 31. Fellow children of Abraham and you God-fearing Gentiles, it is to us that this message of salvation has been sent. The people of Jerusalem and their rulers did not recognize Jesus, yet in condemning him, they fulfilled the words of the prophets that are read every Sabbath, though they found no proper ground for a death sentence. They asked Pilate to have him executed. When they had carried out all that was written about him, they took him down from the cross and laid him in a tomb. But God raised him from the dead, and for many days he was seen by those who had traveled with him from Galilee to Jerusalem. They are now his witnesses to our people. Paul's speech continues here as an accusation of all the people and authorities in Jerusalem at the time that Jesus was taken and killed. But guess what? That includes Paul himself as a Pharisee in Jerusalem. And like verse 27 says, he would have been right there with his cohort condemning Christ just like he did with Stephen in Acts 8:1. But then there's the turn in verse 30, the word but. But, and usually the word but comes from insiders embedded in revolution. Here, Paul says, but God raised him from the dead. Now here's the bizarre thing. As Paul was a Pharisee, one of the critical elements of their theology was that they believed in resurrection already. So it maybe wasn't so strange to believe that a Jew was raised by God from the dead, but it was bonkers that it was Jesus because of the message he preached about being liberated from encrusted tradition and into the fresh new genesis of the Holy Spirit. Just like Luther, Tubman, Gandhi, and others, Paul was the perfect plant, one of them on the inside. So it makes sense that when he defected, he brought tons of folks with him. Like Paul, we're all insiders because we're all part of different social circles, organizations, companies, families, and neighborhoods. And the more we contribute to those communities and serve them with the sincere love of Christ, the more chance we have to bring them into the fresh freedom we know in our faith. So Godspeed to all you revolutionaries. Turn it right side up from the inside out.